The headline alone is chilling, but the deeper you go, the more unsettling it becomes. A former Nickelodeon child star is dead. Not from illness. Not from years of public struggle. But from a violent hit and run on a quiet Brooklyn street. And the person responsible didn't stop. They didn't call for help. They vanished into the city, leaving behind a trail of questions, rumors, and unanswered pain. On January 16, law enforcement sources confirmed that Kiana Underwood, best known for appearing on Nickelodeon's All That in 2005, was killed after being struck by a vehicle in Brooklyn, New York. She was only 33 years old. For many people scrolling past the headline, the name didn't immediately spark recognition. But for those who grew up glued to Nickelodeon in the early 2000s, her face belonged to a very specific era of childhood. One filled with sketch comedy, loud colors, and a sense of innocence that feels painfully distant now. According to authorities, police responded to a 911 call at approximately 6:49 a.m. local time. It was early. Too early for crowds. Too early for witnesses in large numbers. The kind of hour where the city feels exposed and vulnerable. Officers arrived to find an unidentified woman who had suffered catastrophic trauma to her head and body. She was later identified as Kiana Underwood. Law enforcement sources told outlets including Page 6 and TMZ that Kiana was crossing the street near Pitkin Avenue and Mother Gaston Boulevard in the Brownsville neighborhood when she was struck by a gray vehicle. What happened next has haunted many who've read the details. Police say she was dragged under the vehicle for approximately 2 blocks before the driver fled the scene. 2 blocks. And still, no one stopped. Emergency responders pronounced her dead at the scene. By the time authorities arrived, the driver was gone. No arrests have been made. The investigation remains ongoing. And the silence surrounding the case has only fueled speculation online. To understand why this story feels so heavy, you have to go back to who Kiana Underwood once was, and what it meant to be a child star in the Nickelodeon machine. Kiana appeared on All That during its later years, a time when the show was still riding the legacy built by its most famous alumni. All That wasn't just a kids' show. It was a cultural launchpad. A pipeline that produced some of the biggest names in entertainment. Being cast on it meant instant visibility, industry attention, and the kind of childhood fame most adults never experience in a lifetime. But what rarely gets discussed is how brutal the drop-off can be when that spotlight fades. Unlike some of her castmates, Kiana didn't transition into a long, highly public acting career. Her name slowly disappeared from casting announcements. Interviews stopped. Red carpets ended. And eventually, so did public interest. There are no viral comeback stories. No major rebrand. No glossy tell-all interviews. Just silence. And that silence has led many online to ask uncomfortable questions, not as accusations, but as reflections of a pattern Hollywood has repeated for decades. Some fans have speculated whether Kiana struggled privately after stepping away from acting. Others wonder if she intentionally distanced herself from the industry, choosing a quieter life far from the pressure of child stardom. There is no confirmed evidence supporting either narrative. But the speculation exists because it so often fits the reality of former child performers. History has taught audiences to expect darkness behind the smiles. Financial mismanagement. Mental health struggles. Identity crises. Exploitation. Burnout. For every child star who thrives into adulthood, there are many who don't, and many more who simply vanish from public view, trying to rebuild a sense of normalcy without the fame that once defined them. What makes Kiana's death especially haunting is how ordinary her final moments appear to have been. No entourage. No security. No protection. Just a woman crossing the street in the early morning hours. Online, some have begun speculating about why she was out at that time of day. Was she heading to work? Returning home? Running an errand? Again, there is no official information confirming her destination or circumstances, but the lack of details has left room for endless theories. Others have focused on the driver. Why didn't they stop? Was the driver distracted? Speeding? Under the influence? Driving without a license? Driving a stolen vehicle? Each of these questions has circulated online, but authorities have not confirmed any of them. What is known is simply this: the driver fled. And fleeing turns an accident into something far darker. The location itself has become part of the conversation. Brownsville is a neighborhood that has long been associated with underinvestment and high pedestrian accident rates. Some local residents have expressed frustration online, claiming that hit-and-run cases in the area are often slow to gain traction unless there is immediate public pressure. Others have raised concerns about whether this case would be receiving more attention if Kiana were still a household name. That question, uncomfortable as it is, keeps resurfacing. Would this investigation look different if she were still famous? Would the media coverage be louder? Would there be daily updates? Would there be a manhunt? Instead, coverage has been brief. Headlines move on quickly. New stories replace old ones. And Kiana's name risks becoming just another tragic footnote. The reaction from fans has been deeply emotional. Many only realized who she was after seeing old clips resurface online. Comment sections filled with disbelief. "I grew up watching her. This doesn't feel real." Another child star gone. Some expressed anger at the driver. Others expressed sadness at how quietly her life ended. And then there's the eerie irony that many can't stop thinking about. Kiana survived child stardom, something that has broken many others. She lived beyond the industry, beyond the pressure, beyond the cameras. But in the end, she died anonymously, in a city that didn't know who she was, at the hands of someone who didn't care enough to stop. She was 33 years old. No scandals. No public breakdowns. No tabloid downfall. Just a sudden, violent ending that raises questions about accountability, safety, and how easily lives, even once famous ones, can be erased. As of now, police have not announced any suspects. Surveillance footage has not been publicly discussed. Witnesses have not come forward publicly. And the gray vehicle remains unidentified. The hope is that someone knows something. That someone saw something. That someone will speak up. Because behind the headlines, behind the nostalgia, behind the rumors and speculation, there was a real person. A former child performer who once made people laugh. A woman who deserved more time. More life. More safety. If nothing else, remembering Kiana Underwood as more than a statistic matters. Because fame fades. Headlines disappear. But accountability and humanity shouldn't.